Hold up. Rivian did it again. If the R1T Quad was the brand's high watermark for electric trucks, the R1S Quad is the same idea in a family-sized SUV. 4 independent motors, mind-bending traction control, real off-road chops, and a daily use interior that actually makes sense. Over the next 8 minutes, I'll walk you through everything that matters. What it looks like, how the cabin feels, the quad motor performance numbers, yes, they're wild. Range and charging reality, the tech that makes it useful, price expectations, and who this SUV is for. Let's get into it. From a distance, the R1S Quad reads like a serious, purposeful SUV. It keeps Rivian's clean, modern lines. That horizontal light signature, the simple vertical headlights, and a sculpted profile. But the quad-specific bits give it a tougher vibe. Beefier bumpers, larger wheel arches, and a slightly more aggressive stance. It's big without being bulky. The long roofline and tall greenhouse mean real interior space, and the short overhangs hint that Rivian didn't sacrifice off-road geometry for aesthetics. Underbody protection, integrated recovery points, and a more pronounced skid plate show Rivian balanced form and function. The available colors for the quad trims trend toward earthy, adventure-first tones, deep greens, slate grays, and a few tasteful metallics that suit the outdoorsy personality. Slide inside, and the R1S continues Rivian's excellent packaging work. The moment you sit, you notice the cabin feels open and calm. Clean dash, wide central touchscreen, and a row of simple physical controls for the things you need in an instant. Materials are premium but purposeful. Soft touch synthetic leathers, durable trim that's easy to hose down after a muddy trail day, and tasteful wood or recycled accents depending on trim. It's an SUV you don't mind bringing kids into, but it still feels special on longer trips. Seating is generous. The 3-row layout is usable for adults in the 2nd row and comfortable for kids in the 3rd. Storage is everywhere. A large front trunk for fragile gear, deep underfloor bins, and that iconic gear tunnel concept Rivian introduced on the truck, scaled for SUV life and super handy for storing long or awkward items. Now, the part that makes people actually sit up, the quad motor powertrain. The R1S Quad places a motor at each wheel, which gives the SUV instantaneous control over torque distribution like nothing a conventional AWD system can match. That means incredible low-speed traction on rock gardens, precise torque vectoring in loose corners, and ultra-confident towing when you're hauling a trailer. In practical terms, expect combined output in the neighborhood of around 1,000 horsepower in the top quad spec, and a 0-60 sprint that lives in supercar territory for an SUV. Think roughly mid 2-second to high 2-second ranges, depending on final tuning and tires. It's the kind of shove that pins you back in the seat, but crucially, Rivian engineers have tuned the chassis so it's usable. The SUV launches without drama, and that power becomes confidence rather than chaos. Range is always a critical question for a big electric SUV, and Rivian has balanced capacity with practicality. The Quad R1S uses Rivian's larger battery architecture, with usable pack sizes that target high 300s of miles, and mixed driving for more efficient driving styles. Real-world numbers will vary with wheel size, roof load, towing, and weather, but Rivian's thermal management and drivetrain efficiency mean the R1S Quad is capable of true multi-day trips if you plan your charging stops. Speaking of charging, Rivian supports very fast DC charging, and the company has been expanding its network and partner access. That translates to meaningful range, added in short stops. Expect practical charging sessions where 20-30 minutes at a high-power stall adds real miles, which is what makes long-distance travel viable for an SUV this size. On the road, the R1S Quad is the surprising bit. Large SUVs usually compromise on handling, but here, the low center of gravity and torque vectoring deliver a composed ride and confident cornering. Rivian's adaptive air suspension lets you raise the truck for rough ground or lower it for highway efficiency and easier loading. Steering has been tuned to feel natural rather than numb. And the ride control is compliant enough for daily driving, yet firm enough to keep body motion in check when the road gets twisty. If you carry a family and want a refined daily driver that also takes you off the beaten path, the R1S Quad is unusually convincing at both jobs. Off-road, the Quad shines. With each wheel controlled independently, the R1S manages traction like a purpose-built crawler. It can creep over obstacles, modulate torque to prevent wheel spin, and maintain momentum in situations where older AWD systems would get confused. Rivian's off-road modes, crawl control, and selectable ride heights mean you can set the truck up for rock crawling or for snow-covered approaches. Cameras and underbody sensors give visibility where you need it, and the approach car and departure angles are genuine rather than marketing numbers. This is an SUV you can take deep into the backcountry and get home again without drama. Practical features that Rivian fans love are back and smarter. The interior power outlets, integrated camp kitchen options, slide-out storage, and configurable tie-downs make the R1S useful for families and adventurers alike. The cargo floor folds flat when you tumble the seats, and loading long items is easy thanks to a thoughtful tailgate design. Rivian's app ties into trip planning, charging status, and over-the-air updates, meaning the R1S will get new features and improvements over time without visiting a dealer. Safety and driver assistance are up to date. Rivian packs an advanced driver aids, adaptive cruise, lane centering, automatic emergency braking, and more. The company's focus on software means features improve via updates, and the mapping for off-highway use is steadily getting more sophisticated. That's important because a connected SUV that learns better routes and finds chargers intelligently is far more useful on long trips. Money matters, so let's talk price. The R1S Quad sits at the top of Rivian's range, and with that comes a premium. Expect pricing in the same ballpark as the R1T Quad, high five-figure to low six-figure territory depending on options and battery. Yes, it's a significant investment, but you're paying for a rare blend. Super SUV performance, genuine off-road capability, three-row practicality, and a tech stack that evolves. For buyers who want a single vehicle that does family duty, weekend overlanding, and long highway trips without compromise, the R1S Quad starts to make sense. Who should consider it? If you spend weekends towing a boat or trailer, if your idea of vacation includes rough forest roads and backcountry campsites, or if you want a high-tech premium family SUV that actually performs like a performance vehicle when you need it to, the R1S Quad is for you. If you're purely looking for the cheapest EV with the longest theoretical range and smallest price tag, other options will fit that bill. But for a buyer who wants a capable, future-proof, and awe-inspiring SUV, this is a compelling offering. A few pragmatic notes. Heavier mass means higher running costs on consumables, and specialized repairs for EV systems and bespoke bodywork can be pricier. Insurance is higher at this level, and availability depends on Rivian's production cadence. But Rivian continues to expand service and charging support, which will help with ownership headaches over time. At the end of the day, the R1S Quad is a statement. Rivian wants to show that electric SUVs can be luxurious, family-friendly, and outrageously capable all at once. It's an SUV that invites adventure without asking you to sacrifice everyday comfort. If you want something that can take the kids to school Monday and cross a mountain pass with a trailer on Saturday, and still embarrass half the supercar field on the freeway, the R1S Quad is the kind of vehicle you'll want to test drive. So, would you park one in your driveway or keep it locked away as a weekend warrior? Drop your pick in the comments. Hit like if you want a deep dive comparison with the R1T Quad or another three-row EV. And subscribe so you don't miss the follow-up where we put this thing through a family road trip and an off-road gauntlet.